Welcome to the All Things BMX Show. We're a little late. We bumped the gate.
Yep.
We're a little.
Yeah.
Chain wasn't tight. Chain wasn't tight. That was
That's what it was.
it. We're good.
Yeah.
You didn't tighten your clips down, Chris.
That's what it was.
And we got a good show for you this week. This
How
week
do
we're
you
bringing
do-
you guys the Josh and Alissa from Rum River BMX, right out of the Midwest mecca of BMX. If it's not just the Midwest, it might be the capital of the United States when it comes to indoor racing. You can join us each and every week on all your popular streaming sites, everything from Twitch to YouTube to Facebook. We're on them. You can find us. And when it comes to your podcasting, it's everywhere.
Anywhere you get a podcast from.
I can't even keep up with the places that we're on anymore.
Just go All Things BMX and download it.
You'll find
Give us a like, subscribe, all that fun social media stuff we always ask you to do because it does make a difference.
Yeah, that's good stuff. We're coming to you live from the Ethan Clark studio here in the busy metropolis of Heartland, Michigan, where they had a traffic jam earlier.
They did.
They did.
It
The
was-
horse got disconnected from the carriage.
Is that what?
That's what happened.
I don't know, man. It was backed up at the light.
I know. It happens more than 4 cars as town gets crazy. People get road rage riding their horses. Well, big things are happening. We got to thank our people over at Motor City Harley-Davidson for bringing us each and every week over there in Farmington Hills. Make sure you guys get over there and check them out. If you're not in the area, you can find them on that internet thing. They got the big red, white, and barbecue event going down July 5th.
Yes.
I heard you got some custom thongs you're wearing at it.
That is not true.
That's some bogus shit.
That's
sent
some
to me.
fake news right there.
It's going
son.
on from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Chris ain't going to be there.
Farmington Hills, Michigan. Go check it out.
You been there yet?
No, I haven't, and I've been going to for months.
Well, if you got time, you can get over there this weekend. It's a roaring great time.
Might
They're
be
going to
a
have
good time to go.
they're going to have food and drinks, man. It'll be a good time to go.
Yeah.
And again, you can
Farmington
check them
Hills.
out online or over on social media. They got doing stuff. We got well, I guess we got bunk news from the Ghetto News Desk because you're not going to be over at the Motor City Harley-Davidson.
No.
Oh,
No.
that's a bummer.
I mean, I may. I don't know. We'll see what's going on.
You're going to have a
Saturday.
cape?
A what?
A cape.
For what?
4th of July.
A cape?
Yeah.
Like Superman?
Yeah, something.
No.
No?
No, I don't have that.
Tell me you got that mullet wig, dude. Tie a bandana around, show up, just freak Nick out.
Oh.
Hey, the third stop of the Fast AF Flat Pedal Series is coming up July 20th at the one and only Rock and Roll BMX track, Richfield Park BMX, Austin, and the crew over there going to be hosting the
Yes.
third stop. It's a good time. And Pat's going to do a little video edit of the third stop, too.
Is he?
Yeah, if you guys
Oh.
haven't,
Gotta
check out the edit he did for round 2. And then also, if you want to see the first round, our friend did a edit on the first round, and you can find that. Help me out.
BMX Rocks.
Nope, Maurice. Maurice did a. I'll
Oh,
get the
did
link.
he?
He did. Yeah, he recorded the first stop down
Maurice
in
Abrams?
Marysville. Yeah. So we got both stops been recorded and edited, and they did a great job on them. Richfield Park's going to be kicking back part of the entry fees into the payout. Right now, that payout's approaching $500 for the day of, and we always.
July 20th.
Yeah, so there's still plenty of time. If you guys are thinking about you want to sponsor the event, you can. You can sponsor the whole series if you want. Just get a hold of us. We got a ton of sponsors. We'll post them instead of going through each and every one of them.
Yeah.
But
and everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people think you have to do all the races.
no,
Just come out to one. If you're a Michigan local, you don't want to go to Toledo for the final, you don't have to. Just come out for the day.
it's
Let's
that's
do it.
all you got to do. Yeah, good stuff. We got, speaking of sponsors, let's thank ours real quick. I want to say
Alright.
thanks to Krupp and Carter. They got big things happening down there out of Florida. They are the official BMX brand made for BMXers by BMXers. We're going to be the first BMX brand you're going to find in the big box mall stores. So give them a like, give them a follow, check them out online, and you can find them on Instagram and all the other social media sites.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to Gate 9 custom number plates. There's the DVS back here. He's sitting in for Melissa tonight. So we got them. And then we also have On Two Wheels BMX. Make sure you stop by them. The next national event you're at, look for the great big orange tent. Tell Jeremy the ATB crew sent you.
I bet you Jeremy's been up to Rum River.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we'll have to ask him if he is.
Yeah.
You guys don't forget about the Hack Shack. It's your full-service mobile bike shop. The Hack Shack makes everything from the best sprint stands you can get your money on to the straight 8 hacking side hacks, where you can order your own side hack. You can get it in a 16-inch version all the way up to 29-inch wheels. Get your own side hack. Hit up Mike Melvin on social media right now. Have him make one and order your sprint stand right now. And he can get it to you right after the holidays. I bet you can make your red, white, and blue one.
Oh, after 4th of July.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Christmas.
No, he could definitely get you a sprint stand before Christmas. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. Get your Christmas shopping.
Are you here right now?
Yeah, I just thought it was, when you say holidays, I'm thinking Christmas, New Year's, that type of thing. Anyway, hey, moving on. Wrenchman Wheel Builders. You guys looking for a custom set of hubs, rims, get them all laced up. Go talk to the folks over at Wrenchman Wheel Builders. Tell them the ATB crew sent you. You use our bro deal as your checkout code. You'll get a free high five from those guys.
Yeah. Maybe if you talk real nice and whisper at Zach when you put your order in very creepily on the phone, he'll send you one of those towels there.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice. Also, we want to thank our friends at Dye Job Apparel, taking care of the only flats here, and they are making the official shirt of the flat, the Fast AFS series T-shirt. So every T-shirt they sell, they actually kick money back into that series. So that's pretty cool. You can get your own Only Flats shirt, which we know what it looks like. We know what that logo looks like. That's why it's funny. But if you got a track, you got a team, you got a brand, business, whatever it is you got, and you want to do some of your own branding, get a hold of Sean over there. He can make everything. He's done foam fingers for tracks. He's actually taking care of some businesses. He's doing some work for where I work at, and he can take care of everything from custom design clothing to merchandise to swag to you name it. He can take care of it.
Team jerseys.
Yeah,
or individual jersey. If you got something special you want, get a hold of Sean. And order your Only Flats T-shirt from Sean as well.
That's
Get
right.
those going. All right, DB Sports World, upstate New York's premier BMX shop. If it's BMX, they got it. You need a frame, you need a complete bike, you need service. Go talk to the folks up at DB Sports World, upstate New York.
All the links of the sponsors and people at Sports Show, you will find them in the show notes once we wrap up, and you'll find them in the podcast notes also. So you guys make sure when you're doing your shopping for your BMX needs, you guys check out those that help us, you help them, and they'll continue to help us.
All right. So let's welcome in our guest.
Yeah, man. Everybody got a little sneak peek when we started.
Yeah.
They got a little sneak peek. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show.
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for having us.
I don't recognize the guy on my left. It'd be your right when you're watching because there's about 2/3 of him missing right now. How are you? Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely had a good year of losing weight. So
That's always a good thing.
For those of you guys listening, we have Alissa and Josh joining us from Rum River BMX. Welcome back to the show. Always an exciting time to chat with you guys. Been looking forward to this show for a little while.
Yeah.
Thanks for carving out some time and joining us. If you guys that are listening in the chat, put the most obscure, weird topics in there so we can ask Alissa those and put her at ease.
Looking forward to it.
Right. So what's new at Rum River since last time we talked with you folks?
so earlier this year, we celebrated our 10-year anniversary as an indoor track, 20 years as a BMX facility, or 25 years, sorry. So that was kind of cool. Had a big old party, big race weekend, stuff like that for that. We grinding away through summer right now.
Yeah.
How does before we forget, we forgot to plug BMX Rocks, the sponsor in the series with us.
Jeez.
Way to go. You missed. It was highlighted yellow for you too.
Did I miss
Don't
it?
look up. You know where it's at. Jeez, oh Pete. BMX Rocks, they also have our trivia question, our chat question.
yeah.
Yeah. And
How did I? I'm sorry.
you scroll past it. It's all
I
right.
guess I did.
We bumped the gate. Now we
Yeah.
just flipped it.
It's pretty
Start
much.
this shit over again.
Yeah.
Hey, BMX Rocks brings you our chat question each and every week. And we got a good one because we're going to ask our guests this right now. Who's your guys' favorite or how did you – sorry, that was last week's.
How'd you first
Thanks.
find out about the sport of BMX racing? Or BMX in general?
Probably similar.
Probably.
Probably similar. So we had some friends that just lived down the street from us that invited us to go check out this BMX track. I had never even, I don't know that I'd really heard of BMX a whole lot prior to that. And we lived about 2 miles from there. So we went, and I think that was, I don't know that we've left since, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you guys, how'd you find it?
It was kind of the same thing. I believe same guy, Aaron Zidane. I was a Cub Scout leader at the time, and he had a kid in Cub Scouts and told us, hey, why don't you guys come check it out? And brought us up to the track, and two of my boys took a couple rips around the track and been in it ever since. Kind of a cool full circle thing. Aaron's running a BMX team now, FXR Dance Comp, and my son rides for him. So it's kind of cool. He was the one that introduced us to the sport, and now it's the team that we're rocking. So
Nice.
That is cool.
Like it.
Shoot.
How'd you
You
find
went
BMX, Chris?
Me?
I don't even know if you've ever told me.
I haven't. I don't believe.
Is it that bad? Do we
Yeah.
got to take it offline?
Yeah, we'll have to edit this later.
Are you on a 5-second delay?
No.
Yeah.
No, we found out the hard way on that one.
Yeah, there's no 5 second delay.
Pee Wee Herman teach you the sport? Take you into it, buddy?
It's a little. I can try and make it quick. Neighborhood kid was into it and started telling us all about it, and he was showing us all the magazines and that type of thing, and wanted to go to this track, and we started getting into it, neighborhood building jumps and that type of thing, and it built up, and finally we talked my parents into taking a couple of 4 or 5 of us from the neighborhood over to Waterford Oaks actually, and trying it out on a practice night, and it just kind of took from there. My brother started racing before I did, probably about 5-6 months, and I'm just sitting here watching him every weekend. I might as well get into it too, and that's kind of where it went from.
It's always somebody gets you connected. Same thing. I had some friends talk about it. Then we went out and saw it, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was a wrap.
It was a friend of mine, grew up in the neighborhood with Curtis Eckert was his name.
Nice.
He got me started the whole BMX thing in the neighborhood.
Actually, the studio that we're named after, Ethan.
Ethan was your guy, right?
Yeah, he's passed away a couple years ago of cancer.
Ah.
He's one of them that got me into it with
Yeah.
with Kenny. Those are the three
I think
amigos.
that personal invite,
It's
is
kind of
key,
how it
though.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
that was all 4 of us right here,
Yeah.
versus like seeing it, but actually asking somebody to come with or come check it out
Right.
goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was cool.
When you
it's
guys-
amazing where it takes you, right? Like
Telling me.
Donnie Robinson, where will 2 wheels take you, right?
When you guys got started into it, was it before they put the building around the track?
Yeah. I started when we were still outdoors.
Okay.
we started about a month before the track closed down to build the indoor.
Okay.
So my son just practiced and raced a couple of times on the outdoor track. And really, we consider starting his BMX journey when the building was actually built.
Wow.
And for those of you that are tuning in or listening on the podcast show, because we talked about this the first time you guys were on, so you can
Yeah.
listen to that episode.
As I
But
say,
Rum
actually-
River actually built a building around a full-size BMX track.
Yes.
So go back, listen to that show with the two of them. And there's all kinds of pictures and videos and stuff. That's like they did what we've all talked about doing.
Yeah. They actually built the building over the track that was already sitting there.
My God,
Yeah.
this has been 10 years already?
10
Yeah.
years.
What? Dude,
I
I
know.
remember.
I remember when
It
seeing
doesn't seem like yesterday, but it doesn't seem like 10 years ago.
No, not at all.
No, I remember seeing pictures
Yep.
and stuff online, or even maybe in the Pole magazine. Like, look at what these people are doing. They're actually putting this building
Yeah.
over the track.
I remember the garage doors. That's always what I remember
Yes.
seeing you guys install those. And I was like, what? They can do this? It can be done.
Yeah, you got to go to their website, check it out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So 25 years with the track, 10 years indoors. And so you guys both about 10 years with the track, right? Or do you have a few more years?
I'm probably more like 13. I was outdoors quite a while before
Okay.
we built it.
Does it ever not be a surprise sometimes when you walk in and you're indoors suddenly?
I don't know.
For me, I guess it's kind of what I've always known, you know. So
Okay.
like the problems we deal with as track operators versus what every other track operator deal with is completely different. You know, all the other track operators have to get their RAM set up at the beginning of the day and bring the speakers out of storage and all that stuff. We got to walk around and turn on our 9 TVs that are in the building and
Shut our garage doors.
yeah, you know, we deal with having to wipe dust off of windowsills and stuff like that, you know. So still plenty of problems, but just completely different than what most track operators deal with.
Right.
I do every now and again. This could be controversial. Miss a weather like a rain out. Like we, you know, like there'd be some days way back when that like the rain was pouring, and I'm like, we
Day
can
off.
sit this one out tonight.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't really happen anymore.
Yeah, we had, I think, one day last year we closed because it was too high of a heat index. And maybe once a winter we'll close because, you
Like a
know,
blizzard or
volunteers can't
something.
get there because of the snow. But
Right.
other than that, yeah, there aren't too many days off.
There's
Never-
no off season really.
Never thought about that because, like for us, it's the indoors only in the winter. Never thought about how you running year round like there's no rain delay.
Right.
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah.
So
So-
when you transition into summer with the racing, is there any dips because people are outside?
Oh, most definitely. You know, Minnesota is unique in the fact that we have 10 tracks in the state. And so all the tracks work together and we all run our single point races on the weekdays because every weekend's pretty jam packed with either state races or the close
Nearby
by nationals. Like just last weekend out in South Dakota, you know, we could barely staff Thursday just to run our single point race on Thursday because all of our volunteers are heading out to the national. So Crow River has their national coming up here soon. So we'll be closed that Thursday because there's no way we could even staff it if we wanted to be open because everybody's going to be over there at the national. So, you know, we run our racing during the winter months on Friday practice, Saturday, Sunday racing. During the summer months, it's Monday practice, Tuesday, Thursday racing. But definitely, you know, that off-season time for everybody else, you know, everybody in the 5-state area is looking for track time. Where this time of year, our people that have been inside all year, they're looking to get
outside.
tracks,
Yeah.
you know. So there's definitely a dip.
Yeah. So
What a great idea with how you guys are coordinating the single point and double, like your multi-point races. Like track operators take notice. Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally, all the track operators sit on a call at the beginning of the year and we kind of look at the calendar once the nationals are released for where the close ones are and kind of go through the pecking order for how you finish for state points, for track points for the previous year to kind of pick your weekends and kind of look at, you know, if anybody gets a Gold Cup, they get their state race on that same weekend to make a big weekend for it. And then otherwise it's just kind of going down the list and figuring out where it works and close by tracks like the team up and make a back-to-back weekend, that kind of thing. So I couldn't imagine trying to not work together.
Yeah.
When you guys do your Gold Cup and your state qualifiers, what days do you run the Gold Cup on?
So that's an interesting one. So the last 2 years, we've done our Gold Cup and our state qualifier together in April. And as an indoor track, we're guaranteed to get a Gold Cup qualifier every year, but we have to run in the other tracks off season. When we run our Gold Cup with the state qualifier in April, we do the Gold Cup on Sunday, the state race on Saturday. With us having the logic that out of town people are going to want to be there for the Gold Cup, so we want to catch them at our state race as well on Saturday. If we're doing our state qualifier during the summer months, we would run the state race on Sunday because we figure the majority of the people that are there for the state race, not the Gold Cup. Or, you know, so most of the tracks in Minnesota that have a Gold Cup race on an outdoor track, they'll do Gold Cup on Saturday, state on Sunday, because our state pulls so many more people.
Okay. Just curious. We've got people change them around, like to hear how it's working elsewhere, see what's working good.
Yeah.
Most of our outdoor track state races run right around that 100 moto mark,
Okay.
somewhere between 90 to 105, somewhere in there. So
Wow.
usually the Gold Cup's a little bit smaller than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the documentary came out since you guys have been on. If you guys have not checked out the Rum River documentary, I will put the link in the chat in a second here. I'm going to have you guys kind of explain it because it was being talked about when you were on before, but we didn't say anything. And then they put it all together after you guys were on last time. So, yeah, talk about the documentary, and I'll get the link. We'll get it in. And also it'll be included in the show notes and all that stuff for you guys that are watching and listening.
Yeah, so we debuted it at our anniversary party. We had a little get together at one of the local places and
Had a showing. Timeless at this point now. You know, someday when I have grandkids, I can go and show them this video, or these kids that are featured in it can go back and show their family and friends down the road.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
like
know I was showing
bit
my
of history.
family. Like, hey, listen to this. Look right here. That's me. I know it's kind of geeky, but
I've got it in the second screen here, and I'll pop it back up there. I don't want to turn the audio on because I don't want them to, if they have any. Let me move this around.
Copyrights or all that stuff.
I don't know because I can't remember if there was music in it.
Yeah,
so
that'll.
I don't want to get.
There's a little bit.
That'll kill us if there's music in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just a local company wanted to try doing something with BMX, got a hold of you guys, and now you have this awesome promo video for your track.
Yeah, it was originally going to be like kind of highlighting like the national alone, and then it kind of turned into more of a highlighting all aspects of it, from us building the building to what goes into it. One of my favorite parts is everybody that they interview in it has a different way that they got involved in the sport, whether it was they heard it from a friend, they came out to a community ed, they did a beginner league. Everybody kind of had that different kind of starting point.
That popped up. Kevin Riedemann was one of the track operators prior to us, and then they also interviewed Cliff, which is one of our longest running volunteers.
Cliff's a cool story. Cliff's one of those guys that truly volunteers to be a volunteer. He hasn't had a kid in the sport for ages.
I've never seen his kids in the sport.
He comes out day in and day out. He does our top staging. Cliff's a great guy. He's, like I said, truly one of those people that just does it for the sake of doing it.
What's his
and then
name?
the other guy on the video, of course, Kevin Riedemann. He was the track operator in place when the building actually went from an idea of, hey, could we ever
Could
do
we?
this, to making it happen. So he definitely left some big shoes for us to fill with all the things that he put in place with the track.
Wow, that's awesome.
Typically, are you guys on the national schedule, or like are you bi-yearly or yearly? How often are you guys on the national circus stop?
So last year we negotiated a multi-year agreement. So we have a guaranteed 3 nationals over a course of 6 years. Prior to that, it was kind of maybe every 2 years a national would come to Minnesota, and it'd kind of bounce around from us to Pine View. Now just kind of knowing that moving forward, we got at least 2 more nationals over the next 4 years, makes our planning side of things a little bit easier, and nice to not have to wonder every year, is this the year? Is this the
Or
year?
put together that proposal.
Right.
Every
Right.
year.
Yeah, it's involved. Folks don't understand that. That may be something we want to talk about for half a second here. Tracks. A lot of people just go, why doesn't USA BMX put a national here? Why don't they put it there? Tracks have to build
You have to
and
apply,
put
yeah.
together a proposal to host a national.
What's that look like? That you
So there's a
Pages
lot.
and pages and
Yeah.
pages.
Number one, you need to have the facility that can handle it. Time of year, hotel availability, all the different things that go into that. It's helpful if you have a sports authority or a
Sports.
city with deep pockets, someone to kind of help facilitate it. I know some of those tracks down south, like Okahili and some of those, get huge support from their city to help put on those events.
Yeah.
But it's a lot, making sure you have the medical staff on hand, making sure you have room for parking, camping, all that kind of stuff. And so kind of every year it's putting together this, like, hey, this is what we can do to make it happen. And then waiting to hear, like, is it going to happen?
Yeah, if you fit in the schedule or not.
Right.
And for some tracks, that's one of the things it comes down to. And even like the Gold Cup series is the same thing. You need to put in a proposal for the dates that you would like to host a Gold Cup qualifier. And then USA BMX comes back to you with the schedule with, like, hey, these are the tracks that fit into the schedule. And if you as a track are willing to go with 20 different options for a date, you're probably more likely to get it versus saying, I only want to do a Gold Cup on this specific date.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very involved process, especially the national proposal. There's minimum criteria for a track to hold a national event. There is minimum things that have to be met. Plus, like you were just talking about, you got to get a sports commission, a chamber of commerce involved in it. It's not easy. It's a lot of legwork involved in putting these things together.
Yeah, scores to that too.
Yeah, now tracks have to have scores installed in their track as well,
right.
if they want to even be eligible to
So that's
host one.
that's a bit of a game changer. For
That's a
some
new one
people.
too. Yeah.
You guys have that at your place?
Yeah, we were actually, I think, the second one. I think Goodyear BMX had it before us. We were the second one in the country to have it installed.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
So speaking of scores, this is an interesting segue. We can come back to national talk here in a minute if anyone's got questions. And if you got questions, put them in the chat.
Any questions, put them in the chat. First,
So,
we'll be glad to look at them.
Yeah, we got scores. You're running around, transponders. Everyone was rushing to get the transponders, all this fun stuff. Now we have LTS. So the lane transfer system, and if you guys have run a few races with it. Before we get into that, and how I wonder how it's going to work. I mean, we all know how it works with scores. I'm just curious to wonder, like, I've got a million questions when it comes to this, like, which one supersedes each other? Does the scores supersede what they take at LTS, like at the finish line, right? Like who has the hierarchy, the scores or scores? But let's bring it down before we get there.
The scores.
Yeah. Before we there, how has it been being one of the tracks that's adopted it in the middle of the year? How has it been for your volunteers first? Like, I'd love to hear that.
So I was there the first night that we transitioned to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually, I mean, we were all kind of nervous, a little worried, like, how is this going to work? We had kind of discussed things ahead of time. We kind of laid things out a little bit differently as far as in staging to know who gets first gate pick, that kind of a thing. But at the end of the night, we were surprised. It went actually really smooth. I only heard positive things, with the exception of a four rider moto. But other than that, it was all right. And I think we're used to change this year. I mean, we had just gone to total points, and it's kind of a mixture of the two, to be honest. So
Right.
it went well. It went way better than I was expecting, and it was nice to, at the end of the night, when the race was over, the award line was like non-existent. People were all getting out of the building a little bit quicker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think for me, I do a lot of the announcing, and when we race total points, it's different. It's different energy because you don't have that main event vibe. You don't have that how they cross is how they finish, and you got some rides that you don't know like who even the top three were, because it was like a 5 and under novice, and everybody completely jumbled points, and you can't hype that the same way.
It took the excitement out of the sport a little bit.
Where now we're kind of back to everybody's getting to that main. Your 4 to 8 rider class all gets to the main. There's some incentive to trying better in the rounds because you get your gate pick. And now we're back to having that main event vibe. We have that ticket crew handing out their finishes, so people aren't standing there waiting to find out how they finish for the day.
Yeah.
I think we'll start seeing riders do more than one bike again, because they're not having to race every lap.
Good point. Think of that.
And for us, staffing wise, running the transfer system that we used to, it was a well-oiled machine. We've done that for years. Going to total points, we added an additional scorer because it was just chaos trying to keep track of how everybody finished every round. Where before in first and second round, you just had to put an X in the box for who transferred. Where having to score 1 through 8 in all 3 rounds, and those spots really make a difference. It's a lot more work for scoring. And we're fortunate in our building, we update motos live right at the scoring tower. And so as the races cross, we're able to send a report over to our trophy cage, and they can hand out the awards fairly quickly. As we finish opens, we send over the opens results. As we finish cruisers, send over the cruiser results, that kind of thing. So some of that stuff that most tracks can't function with, I don't know how they were doing it. If you just wait till the whole. It was still taking
us time. That's the thing. Like, it was still taking us time, and we had the technology to make it smooth.
Now, the one thing you could argue is really first and second round don't mean a lot. If you're one of those kids that can go out there and win a main event, no matter what gate you're in, you can kind of mail it in for first and second round just to show up in the main, and you're guaranteed to get there. But the kids really like the gate pick. We set it up so at the bottom of our staging hill, once they leave their chute and come over to the bottom of the hill, there's a 1 through 8 sitting on the floor, and they stand on which pick they are, and then get dismissed up the hill accordingly. So that kind of made it an easy transition, because once you get up to the gate, you pick whatever's available.
Yeah.
So
I like that idea.
That's similar. How do we did it at the last state race? They actually loaded the chute in the order of gate pick. So then first person out of the chute. We try
to do that.
Yeah.
The hard thing is not everybody shows up to the chutes when they're supposed to.
Them older guys, they'll wait forever.
Yeah. Or they don't get in the chute at all, right?
Or
Alex Robinson.
Or even in fairness, some are doing, an open or a cruiser, and they got to get back around and get back into the chutes, So
it is easier when they load up in the order that they are.
Right.
But we have somebody at the bottom of the hill that has, the printout in the order they get to pick. And then we have Cliff at the top of the hill calling them up, or, kind of just making sure that, nobody's jumping motos or, picking a gate before the person behind them or in front of them. And
right.
So it was a smooth transition, and we've heard positive things about it.
As a racer, I I've kind of enjoyed it, even at the smaller, like
Locals.
at the locals.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun, and you know, we're it's older guys. We're gonna talk trash all the way around and just hope we don't exhaust and pass out at the finish line. But the gate picking, even like the first one we did was a 4-man one, right? And that's the one that's kind of catching a little bit of talk.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't horrible. It was, we got to pick the gates, and then, like, well, we're here. We want to make it hard, so we picked them all to one side in the main. Just,
Yeah.
and I think
We wouldn't do every
fun.
other one. No, we all right
Yeah,
together in
we all
one
went
pile.
1, 2, 3, and 4. So, yeah, made it fun, and just added a little bit more to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I haven't.
No.
I know that the few racks that have been total points where they've just had the 3 riders,
Yep.
like they'll come over and they're all excited because they think they get to pick a gate, and I
Yes.
give them the news. I'm like, sorry.
So
What?
Right.
that's actually in the chat right now. Is Scott Sloan saying, like, man, you totally could do, make the 3 moto one, the transfer too. Just take 1 rider out of the first one, 2 out of the second one, and you get to pick your gates. It's not much
You
different.
could.
than
I mean,
before. You
they're
could.
all basically boat rides, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I do think, the critique that everyone's had on the 4-rider class where you get 2 out of the first round, 2 out of the second. One, it's really hard on an announcer that's done it for years. You see 4 riders, you're taking 1. All of a sudden now, nope, you're taking 2.
Yep.
Or like an 8-rider class, you've always taken 3 in the first round. Now you're taking 4, so it's that extra step to kind of pay attention to.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see more riders left in that second round, if they're all making it anyway.
make the second round as exciting as the first round.
Well, and
Great
I
point.
think it almost incentivizes even more to do well in that early round because less riders are getting that second round off. So you would make trying harder that first round that much more important.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's 6 riders, do 2 and 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
you
I
got
see
4,
what
take 1, leave 3, let them
Yeah.
Right.
go. Yeah.
Mhm.
I can get
Yeah.
that.
Well, maybe something that the sanction looks at down the
Lane
road.
transfer
makes a little-
2.0.
Right.
Right.
It's coming.
Version
You know it is.
2.0.
You got to. The first version ain't going to be the best. That was when a couple announcers I had talked to, that was their thing was the 4. They're like, boy, hyping up a 2-person race in,
A 2-person boat ride's kind of tough to hype
Especially when
up.
they're on different straights.
Yes, and it's funny you say that. It's exactly what my friend was saying too. Is, boy, you get some of them combined classes, they could be interesting. But he was like, that was really his critique. That he said he's like, yeah, they'll figure something out at some point. I'm glad it's been smooth for you guys. I know it's been something exciting for myself to see. But they did it at Rock City.
Yes.
Yeah. This past weekend, they didn't do it at the state race I went to over at K-Am. Nope.
Really? Okay.
Well, yeah, for them, they have so many locals that they were like, we're just going to run it this way and we'll run it that way. So,
What I like about
We
it
did the
is-
same thing with our state series as a whole.
did you?
In Minnesota, everybody, all the tracks are running the transfer system.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
at
we
least it's-
wanted as a state to keep the state series consistent across the board. So it's not like you show up at this one, it's this set of rules. You show up at this one, it's this set of rules. So
And-
really our Minnesota State Series Committee has kind of a set, this is a practice structure for a Saturday race. This is a practice structure for a Sunday race. These are the start times. These are finish times. So if you're running a state race anywhere in Minnesota, you're following the exact same set of rules at every one.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
I really do, especially
Consistency is key.
the registration times being
Yep,
the same.
it's all the same.
every-
Every Saturday state qualifier is the same across the board. Every Sunday state qualifier is the same across the board.
Are you guys doing the format where it's like not all tracks get a state qualifier, but you help each other out?
Nope, everybody gets one.
Oh, you guys are doing it that way too.
Okay.
Yep. Every track gets a
Okay.
qualifier. Whether you're running a Gold Cup race or a state qualifier, either way, we follow the same format. It's kind of like a national where there's a 2-hour registration window. Everybody gets a timed practice based on their age. So like cruiser practice kicks off the beginning of the practice time. Then it's like 8 and under. Then 9 to 12-year-olds like
all the way
on through the day, then pro-am practice, kick off parade lap, and
let those
throw the
striders
balance
buck.
bikes out. So.
Yeah.
How many motos are you guys averaging at a state race?
Most of them are right around 100.
Okay.
Wow.
Small sides like high 80s, low 90s.
Up to
Most of them like Pine View Crow, they'll push that 100 mark, 105. Ours will end up being a little bit bigger because running with our Gold Cup during the off season,
Sure.
have a lot of out-of-towners there. So
Are you running opens at the qualifiers?
absolutely.
Okay. All right. See, we don't.
We don't do
Yeah,
that
they
in
don't.
Michigan.
So
No,
we'll get
opens.
like 50. We'll get between 50 and 60, high 60s. But none of the tracks are on the opens. Just for they've decided like it's just a time thing. Like keep it small so you can get in and get out.
to me, the more laps you can get a rider on the track, the
100%.
easier it is to retain them in the sport.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and with the Minnesota State Series for team points, you can use open riders on your team
Ooh.
sheet too. So
There's a dynamic.
a lot of teams will throw someone in on the opens for the rider score.
Yeah.
We don't even have teams.
We don't have a team series.
No teams. No team series.
It might be in the
state.
works.
It should
There's
be.
rumors. There's rumors. We don't know yet.
So that'd be for 2026.
Correct.
Should be.
Yeah, there's probably 15-ish teams in
That's quite a
Minnesota.
Wow.
And we do two different categories. We got
Okay.
the bike
Bike
shop
shop.
/ factory. I think there's 4 teams in that this year.
Mhm.
That's a paid entry and has a cash prize. And then the trophy team is just free. But there's slightly different rules for the two.
Mhm.
If you have more than one nag rider, you have to be a bike shop factory team. If you are on the trophy side, you have to have a novice or an intermediate on your team sheet. Just some different rules like that to kind of keep the
level
structure fair.
level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. it
Now, is
good.
that ran by the Minnesota State Series committee?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was formed.
Last year, wasn't it?
It might have been
This is
even
the
the year
second
before.
year, isn't it?
I think it's the third.
Oh.
But yeah, kind of different people from different tracks that are passionate about it. You know, it used to always be 1 or 2 people trying to figure everything out. And as those people are kind of aging through the process, like, hey, we got to get a team of people in place to kind of keep the torch going. So, yeah, there's a good sized committee that meets a couple times a month to get things ready for the year. And between them coming up with things and bouncing back and forth with the track operators, kind of figure out if we need to do any rule changes and stuff for the next year. And
What worked, what didn't, and yeah.
they also kind of help facilitate staffing all the tracks so that there's consistency for scoring and officiating and stuff.
Nice.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, we don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, we used to.
Yeah, but that was under the other one.
That was Michigan NBL, so that's how long ago that was.
You had brought up, having people in there when they age out, and there's a rumor that you guys, the two of you, are looking to possibly not age out, but exit out of your involvement at Rum River. You guys are thinking about moving on.
Do we want to do a check-in and then
Now we got-
discuss that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So,
I just saw rumor and then this.
okay.
Nope.
So there's a rumor that because you guys have brought up how you were gonna, you got people that are aging out, moving on at the state level. There's a rumor you guys are looking, the two of you are looking to possibly move on from Rum River, and you have people that you've got going on. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's not a rumor. It's true.
All right.
Yeah, we're
It's
December
true.
15th officially stepping down from track operator at Rum. The hard thing we have is there's so many things that we do as a track that happens once a year, between whether it's running state finals, doing our Strider Summer Series that we do, doing our Governor's Cup race that we do earlier in the year,
Fire nice.
our Fire and Ice series throughout the year, figuring out the calendar, how to work all those, fitting in our beginner leagues, all that kind of stuff. And so we kind of told our board last year, like, hey, we're looking at this is going to be the end next year. And to make a fair transition, the board appointed the new incoming track operators, Tim Dobozinski and Bree Brotzel, last year to kind of help shadow us throughout the year. Both of them two are on our board already. So they're familiar with a lot of the behind the scenes work that it takes, but just helping to bring them up to speed on all the things we do on the ins and outs to help kind of make that transition better. And then also to give more time for the board to kind of backfill their positions as well, because they're going to leave 2 board positions empty as well. So, but yeah, it's bittersweet, 10 years I've been doing this, and prior to that I was a Cub Scout leader and coach baseball and football and stuff like that, so for almost half my life I've been doing a volunteer position in some form or another. And my rider is 18 years old now. He's out there getting his big boy job and done with school. And I still got another kid that likes to do other things outside of BMX and stuff too. So it's going to be hard to not be as involved and doing everything we do, but yet I think it's the right timing too.
Alissa, what's your role at the track?
So I am, co-track operator.
Co-track operator, okay.
Yeah. So I'm co-track operator, Josh. And then I'm also one of our head coaches. I kind of run our coaching program, scheduling our beginner clinics or our clinics and our beginner leagues, lining up coaches for that. And then I do a lot of stuff with our merchandise, our swag store, we call it.
Oh yeah.
Ordering and making our clothes and ordering, putting all that together as well. It's kind of have my hands in a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So how many people are going to have to replace you? Because it sounds like about 4.
Well, unlike Josh, so I don't know that I'm completely done.
Okay.
As a track operator, I will be done.
Gotcha.
The plan is to still stay on and do some of the my other roles at this point.
Okay. So you're going to be involved in some capacity or another.
Correct. That's the plan.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, the swag store, you guys have nailed that. I can think like seeing Rum River shirts before it became like a thing to make sure your track had swag.
Yeah.
I would see Rum River shirts pop up here and there that weren't just a national one.
Sure.
Right.
You guys do a great job with it. Again, on the previous show, you guys talk about how you have your own in-house print. So check out the previous show. They talk all about it and talk about how your track can benefit from that.
Definitely go check out that previous show, because there's a lot of information in there that we're not covering in this one.
Sure.
Yeah. Like Josh
There's a lot of ways for your track to make money that you just got to put in the work and you can do it.
Yeah.
How many volunteers does the track have? Say, I'm going to give it a 2-part question. How many volunteers do you guys have as a whole? Then how many do you guys have on a typical race day? Because you guys run, a live feed. You get your swag store, concessions, as most tracks do, and these others. So, like, all together, and then on a typical race day.
Yep. So all together, we have typically between 50 and 60, depending on the time of the year.
Oh, shoot.
Nice.
And some of that, we get some help from the other tracks when they close down for the winter. They'll come out and work at our track on days when they're out there. Kind of some big picture stuff. We have 11 board members, track operator, treasurer, that kind of thing that does the hardcore behind the scenes stuff. And then any given day that we're operating, it's around 20, 22, something like that, volunteers that are needed to staff for the day. Between working all the corners, the staging, the scoring, concessions, the swag store, stuff like that. So
we try to keep our volunteer list robust because we're open year round. So it's not like some of these other tracks, they can go take 6 months off to regroup, gather. We all don't want to be there some of us want to be there every single night. Others, only want to work one night a week. So we have to have a large pool to pull from.
Right. Yeah. Well, plus you have other races in the area, or a Gold Cup or a national, something going on nearby. So you're losing part of your base that way as well.
Correct.
How do you guys get volunteers?
We ask.
We're constantly asking,
Sometimes we beg.
and you get those people that come through. Like, you can tell the people that are hardcore volunteering just because they love helping out. And there's people that volunteer because there's perks to it. For us, if you volunteer at Rum, once you're trained in on it, you're practicing or racing for free on the days you're working. You get a discount at concessions. And we do some
adding
special
your hours,
things
yeah.
for our volunteers, whether it's quarterly swag that we give out, or once a quarter or so, we try to have a volunteer only practice, some things like that to kind of incentivize being a volunteer. So
End of the year party.
yeah. So
Nice.
trying to make sure that the volunteers know they're appreciated, because we couldn't run what we run without having them.
There's not a track out there that can't run without volunteers.
Right.
And
Correct.
it's not easy. It's not easy to do, but you need them. And if you treat them right, you'll keep them.
Oh yeah.
What's the what's your average retention? How long does a volunteer stick around?
Oh,
Kind of the same thing. It's kind of like with the sport. You see some, like, what do they say? The average in the sport is 3.5 years that you see in the sport. There's definitely some volunteers that have been doing this longer than I've been involved in the sport. And there's some that give it a couple of tries and are like, nope, this ain't for me. And they're right back out,
but I feel like we do a pretty good job of retaining them. We have never really looked at like how long they've stuck around, but
it seems like for the most part, once they get involved with volunteering, as long as their rider's still riding, they're still volunteering.
Because I often hear if they're just at the track they're not volunteering that night just to watch, it's hard to sit still. It's hard not to be involved. It's a little bit more boring in the bleachers, I think, and I think a lot of people would agree with me.
Yeah, I know. My wife was that way when we first started. Our daughters were riding, and she's like, "What are we supposed to do?" I said, "Watch them."
Yeah, I can't sit and watch.
She goes, "Can we?" She goes, "They're saying they need volunteers. What are we volunteering for?" I said, "Well, you're volunteering for corner marshal, scoring." She's like, I don't think I do good at scoring, but cornering, I can do that. I went, okay. Mm-hmm. She was on her way.
We usually find volunteers, if we're looking, shortened concessions, we'll put a post out that we're, looking for concessions volunteers or track workers, that sort of thing. We won't put somebody where they don't want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Concessions, that's a whole nother. That's a tough one. Well, you guys are a little different, but in the summertime, usually concessions is hot. It's hot
in ours too. I mean, we
had to put air conditioning in just recently. We had to put air conditioning in because it's hot with all that equipment in there.
Yeah, yeah. It's usually in a building, stuff back in a corner somewhere off to the side. It's no air circulation in there. It's warm. Yeah, yeah. So
they work hard in there, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's the unsung hero.
In your group of the volunteers, you guys, it sounds like, do you guys have like subgroups, like somebody that handles and oversees thing? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a volunteer coordinator. It's one of the board positions. So she takes care of scheduling the races and
lining up their trainings.
Yep. If a new volunteer comes on, wants to be involved, she sets them up with shadowing to learn the positions and stuff like that. And then we have like a track chat group. We have a concessions chat group, a registration chat group, stuff like that. So if there's information that either the department leads or us or
so
anybody needs to get out,
each department,
we can get those communications out for that too. And then even in registration, there's a registration coordinator, but then there's also registration leads. So like those leads are able to do a membership and, set up scores for a race and stuff like that. So it's not just one person that has to do all those things. There's a team at every level.
Wow. So
how many nights a week are you running? Something at your team?
During the summer, 3.
Yeah, during the summer, it's practice on Monday, racing Tuesday, Thursday, occasionally throwing a clinic or something in on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. During the summer months, it's practice Tuesday, Friday, or winter months. Yeah. Practice Tuesday, Friday, race Saturday, Sunday, clinics every Thursday, usually track rentals on the other days. So during the winter months, it's almost 7 days a week.
Wow.
Man.
So this uncomfortable question. How do you keep the drama away? Because you hear, it's always something like somebody's fighting with somebody, somebody's accusing somebody of this or that. How do you keep that away? Because it sounds like you
We're
guys
not immune from it.
no. Okay.
Well, and there's drama at all different levels, whether
Yeah.
it's this team's fighting with this team or this rider did this to my rider, or um,
Yeah.
complaints, about the way we rebuilt the track the last time, or whatever, and
Mhm.
it's
We do our best to have conversations, right?
Okay.
and the hard thing is, at the end of the day, we're all volunteers that do this for the passion of the sport, so and we've had some board members in the past that are just over it and quit because they don't want to deal with the drama. And
Sure.
it's hard when you got the sideline quarterbacks, telling you how you could be doing what you do better, and they're not willing to put the effort in to help make it better, but we deal with it, and it's awesome having 2-track operators to kind of bounce things off of. It's huge having the entire board that we have. A lot of tracks, it's the track operator and their spouse, and they wear every hat on the track. And
True.
I couldn't imagine trying to function like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that kind of goes back to my saying, before you start complaining, got one question for you. Have you volunteered yet?
Yep.
Okay. If you don't like the way the track's laid out, have you picked up a shovel and offered to help?
Right.
If you've answered no to both of those questions, you cannot complain. I'm sorry. Done. Don't complain. If you're not volunteering, sorry. Little rant.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Don't hit the microphone. That mic cable's on its last leg, buddy.
Don't dump the cord.
We're going to just take a quick pause. We're going to do a quick chat check-in here with everyone joining us in the live format. You guys on the podcast, you got to tune in next week.
Yeah,
and,
check us out live.
Be live so you can get in the chat.
Yes.
So thanks to BMX Rocks for sponsoring our chat and our chat question, which is, how did you find the sport? You guys can put it on the social media sites that it's on right now. You can put it in the chat if you're watching live with us. So I'd love to hear how you guys found the sport of BMX. People joining us this evening, thank you to Piper. He was on the other week.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Zach is in here. Rick Carter from Beer Budget Show. Scott Sloan. Yep. Him and I went back most of the week talking about having you guys on here. Old School's in here with us. Sean Gifford from Dye Job Apparel, thanks for joining us. Corey McKenzie, thanks for joining us. He's been talking about he's just getting back into riding, some of the bikes he has, which I dig. Angelo, I'm not going to say that one. Angelo, nope. He proposed this question: is everyone going to be required to have a transponder? And isn't that the rollout at some point? It's going to be everyone will end up with one.
So here's my 2 cents
We
on
talk
it.
about this a lot.
Yeah, let's talk. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
I foresee it never trickling all the way down to the single point local level.
Okay.
To have somebody brand new to the sport come in, try it for the first day. Oh, by the way, if you want to race, you have to have a transponder. I just don't see it. I could see maybe pockets, certain tracks trying it, but I never see it being a requirement at a local level.
I can't even see every track being able to afford it, to put it in. The investment behind it is huge.
It's a lot of work too, even on top of the investment. And I'm sure that there's a very small handful that can afford to have it installed. Then those that are like the rest of the tracks, they're going to have to put it in themselves, and that's a lot of work.
Well, there's infrastructure.
Well, and even if you put it in 100% by yourself, it's not cheap.
Right.
And, when you look at some of these tracks, they're running 3-4 months out of the year. That's their entire budget for the year to put the system in.
Yeah.
And if you're getting 20, 30 riders at a practice night, it's really hard to try to justify spending that money. My understanding is it'll become fully required at the expert level and all cruisers at the nationals. I don't foresee it ever being required as a novice at the nationals, but who knows?
Maybe at nationals, but definitely, like you said, not at.
But
local.
even a novice at a national, oof.
I don't
Are
know.
they?
Do what they want.
There's a whole.
Are they required at locals? If anyone's listening, are the transponders, like if you're racing internationally, required at a UCI local? That would be my
So,
question.
like
Yes.
New Zealand, for example,
Yes.
Sure.
every race they run is ran on transponder.
Okay.
Like they score every race with the transponder. Like it's just part of the sport.
Okay.
But won't some of those countries not even allow young riders?
Yeah, you have to
You gotta be a
graduate from the
little older.
club.
I'm just thinking, like,
Yeah.
you're gonna put a transponder on a 4-year-old's bike.
I mean,
Some people do.
yeah. I mean, some of them put carbon fiber rims on them too.
You're right.
Hey, don't knock the carbon fiber.
You stop right now. Real fast. Terrell Farley, thank you for joining us. We really,
Terrell!
yep. Raymond Flagg. He brought this up when we were talking about the state structure for state racing and things. He was curious on how do we fix the issue when you're racing younger racers. This is again at like a state race where you're combined in, and which you can't, they're beating you, right? They're pulling him in. This happens with him a lot. He gets pulled down classes, and then he's getting kind of hosed out of points. I always took it this way. If I'm there, because this happens, I'm 4650. I get pulled down a lot, or I go up one, or way down or up one. Yeah. So when I get pulled way down, it's just I'm watching a dust show up in front of me. Mm-hmm. But if I'm racing in 4650, this is how I looked at it. And there's only 3 of us or something, and maybe one guy isn't there. There's only 2 of us that can earn points. Now I might take 4th place. But that 4th place might be 15 points, 16 points, however it translates down. And that's technically like 1st place because that guy couldn't earn any more points than me that day.
Right.
That's how I always was like, okay, I really hate chasing.
You almost just have to go to every state race.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think it's a different dynamic at the different states. If you're in a state that only has 3 tracks and you only need 1 qualifier plus the final, it's completely different than being in like Minnesota when you got to get 5 qualifiers plus the final.
Ooh, wait, what do we got? 4? We have 4.
Four
Okay,
plus
they got 5. Okay,
They have 10 tracks.
That's right.
We only have 8.
All right,
Michigan.
And I think too, the USA BMX did a lot to fix that this year by not dropping that last place rider off. You still get your finish points for the day. So when you were in those 4 rider classes where it's 17 to 20 intermediate and you're the 35-year-old that gets pulled down with them.
Yep.
Now at least you're getting that 4th place finish rather than just getting 4 points for showing up for the day. So I think they did a lot to address that issue. Is it perfect? No, but I think it's a lot better than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah, I think so.
We also have Dave Bergquist joining us. Thanks, Dave, for hanging out with us.
Hey,
and
Dave.
Huck Karinsky joining in, and he made the comment on your documentary. He said it was very well done, such an amazing track and community. He says he's got to get the boy up there to race. So yeah, and it is. You guys check it out; it'll be in there. I don't know if we'd asked this. How much when the local company came to you guys about shooting it, how much did they chat with you ahead of time before they put it all together?
So Samantha Falkowski, our communications director, she did most of that behind the scenes dialogue with them.
Okay.
And I know they even sent over a finished product, and Samantha looked at it and she's like, this isn't the angle we want to go, and kind of redirected the entire dialogue to get it to where it is.
It's almost completely different, actually.
Yeah.
In the end, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, she spent a lot of time with them behind the scenes to kind of get the right field to begin with to shoot it, and then get the right final product as an end result.
Very nice.
Huh. That's awesome.
You guys got anything else shaking over at Rum River you want to share?
Coming up to our fun time, we got Isani does this Jubilee Days.
Big old rodeo in town.
Yep. So next week we got our Isani Parade. So we get a bunch of the kids out, and adults hand out about 10,000 flyers to come try the sport. Yeah. And then part of the Jubilee Days, they do this big thing downtown where they have outhouse races on Main Street and all this kind of stuff. And we do Strider race out on Main
They were
Street.
putting money on number 6.
Right?
They race like porta potty outhouses?
Sure
Yep.
do.
Like the big green ones?
Yeah.
Well, no, they kind of build their own.
Yeah, they build their own.
Yeah.
There's some rules. It's got to have a seat in it. It's got to have a door that closes.
Oh yeah, we're putting money on number 6.
Bro, we need to take number 6. I don't know how this story started.
How much to sponsor?
Yeah. I gotta pull this up. You continue, but I am
ATV
so
logo
interested
right
in
on
porta potty racing. Do you guys take the Striders out there
We'll
and
send you a
showcase?
video.
Oh, please do, please do, please.
But yeah, part of that whole festival, we do Strider racing in the streets. So we set up an obstacle course out on Main Street and get all the Strider bikes out to try out the sport, give them a free 1-day trial if they come out to the track and give it a try. So
Treat it like a race. It's pretty fun.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a good way to recruit
Yeah, that's next
some
week
riders.
already.
Yeah. And that's in your town there.
Yep.
Yep, right in town.
Asante, correct?
Isanti.
Asante. See, I still
You're close.
Dude, you're way better than I
It
was.
was like you did it on purpose, Chris.
Oh.
I think I might have found
Uh-oh.
some pictures of it. Let's see if I can pull them up.
Oh my gosh.
Hang on, is this it right here? Let me see. I don't know if that's it.
Well, that looks very similar to what it is. That's not
No.
our town. But,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look it up by the
Dude,
town.
okay, we'll check this out after we're done here.
Yeah.
You find that
We
the
don't-
Strider the recruiting fares well and actually gets people out and gets them back to the track.
Yeah, it's cool to get exposure to the sport any way you can,
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
and it's hard to do anything bigger than Striders out on Main Street, you know, unless you're going to do some tricks or that kind of thing. But part of that, they also do turtle racing. So there's kids showing up with their turtles.
It's like part of the kids' day, kids' morning
Yeah.
down there.
Nice.
So
Yeah, they have the face
captive
painting,
audience.
all that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of cool to have the spectacle of the announcing of a race and, you know, handing kids big trophies for riding their Strider bikes and stuff like that.
And we bring a bunch of Strider, balance bikes down there and helmets, so that if there's just they happen to be there and see this, that they can participate too.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is so cool.
Well, that's like, I call it the retention part. Like, what did you get? What was the activation part of, like, you went and you did it. How many of them come? And you guys say this is a good one. And you were saying, like, you actually run it, you race it, you announce it, and everything like that. So you bring the pizzazz and really hype it up.
Yep.
That's like, take notes on that because that's important, right?
I feel like every small town across America has like some sort of city day or whatnot.
Right.
That
4th of July parade.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Parade's huge. Like I said, we give out about 10,000 flyers. And do you get everyone back? No. You know, do you see them laying in the gutter? Yes. But there's some kids that come home with that flyer and 2 days later they're up at the track giving it a try, you know. So as much exposure as you can give to the sport, it's all good.
It's funny how you go full circle, right? Like, flyers are like the way probably a lot of the older people that listen and watch the show found the sport. They found a flyer at a bike shop or somewhere,
school or
a
wherever.
school or a parade or something.
Yeah.
And even in the day and age of the social media, like a flyer still in your hand that you put in your pocket still works.
Yeah.
Trust me, we had to add the QR code to the side of the float too, you know.
Oh yeah. Good idea. Actually, good idea.
I think I might have found. There's your Jubilee Day.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't.
So yeah, they run the outhouse to a certain line, and then the person in the outhouse has to then run out, grab some corn, right? No, toilet paper, corn.
Something.
It's gross. I don't know. Then they have to like go dig some corn cobs out of some pool, like muddy looking pool, and it's a
They got to change a toilet paper roll.
Yeah,
And
then run
back to the outhouse and.
I think that this is when you go to Rum River. Like, if you're not going for like a big race, like, this is when you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
You could go listen to the Strider race, watch the Strider race, listen to him announce it and hype it up,
cheer for the little kids. Yeah.
stay for the outhouse race, watch the turtle races. Yeah, it's all good.
Man.
Turtle
these folks in that picture right there, they look serious. They got running shorts and everything. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
They do
track
like a
shoes
kid
on.
version, or they have in the past done like a junior version and then
That's what
an
it
adult
looks like,
version.
actually.
Like
Yeah.
some of the sports teams in town. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I get a link, dude. I'll sponsor somebody's porta potty. You might not know what All Things BMX is, but hey, whatever, man.
Put that logo on the side of there.
That'd be-
And we can get a few of our other sponsor supporters.
we'll do it
jump
in
on
conjunction with Rum River. We'll just,
There you go.
yep,
There we
There
go.
you go.
yeah,
Right on.
maybe
Oh, that's funny.
you guys got the
I've always
bike. You got the bike shop right there at the track, right?
Right.
Yeah, they could donate some Onyx wheels, and we'll get
Yep.
somebody.
We talked that exactly. Yes.
Yeah, we always said if we ever did one, we'd have to have the Onyx wheels and deck the thing out carbon fiber on the
There's-
handles. And
Carbon fiber.
There's people in the
outlets.
chat right now that are offering to throw in to sponsor this with us.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
This could be it for you guys. Is like retirement stepping away. Like the big
it's
grand
the hardest
finale.
part, that time of year is just crazy. In fact, this year when that falls is
Yeah.
on the day that Crow has
Crow's
the national.
Oh man,
Oh, of
that's
course.
crazy.
We're going to be over there in the morning doing this Strider in the Street thing
And
when
then run.
everybody in the country is over at Crow. So just trying to have enough volunteers to pull off our Strider race. It's hard.
I wonder if we could live stream this like next year. We ain't got enough time to figure this out. Like ATV could go out there because we got to go check the track out. We've been talking
Yeah,
about
we got to
it
go
long
sooner or
enough.
later, right?
Right. No, because that's a bucket list trip.
Yes.
So we go check the track out. Then we live stream a show from Jubilee Days at the Strider
It's
track.
always right after the 4th. It always falls after the 4th.
So we do Jubilee Days live feed right from there while they're doing the Strider race. Then we can go watch the porta potty thing, and we sponsor them.
Maybe we could live stream the porta potty race.
Oh, you damn straight we are.
I knew you were going to.
I'll call Tesla himself, and we'll get himself one of those satellite links or whatever they're called.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want the real name, dude. He'll get it shut down. Just don't.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, everyone knows who I'm talking about. There's literally people. Can we sponsor this? I think we can. We'll do it with Rum River.
We'll figure it out.
QR code on the porta potty for the track.
On the
Though.
porta
Right.
potty. There you go.
We got
QR
this.
code on the
We're just going to
porta
put your committee on that part, and we'll bring the cameras. That's what we're going to do.
I'm sure there's a porta potty lying around ready
Shoot,
for us.
They probably have cameers. They do all the live feeds
Yeah, but theirs
for
is
their
like
races.
permanently inside though.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So
Ah.
we don't want to. Yeah, we did that before, trying to move
Get some
all.
GoPros.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Somebody, we can get a head one strapped on so we could get a POV shot from like
Yeah.
inside while they're right. It's got to be pretty sketchy, dude. 'cause
Digging through that mucky water. Ugh.
Ew.
Yeah.
we have the perfect. Would it be called a jockey that would be in the porta potty when they race?
I guess.
I don't know what they officially call.
The runners. Got to be somebody fast.
Well, that wouldn't be Rick. I was thinking a dainty fella, Rick
Well,
Oh,
from Beer
he'd
Budget.
fit.
he would fit.
Yeah, a lot of low air drag.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot, he's probably already screaming in the chat. I'm
He is.
in.
He's probably him and Mike that builds side hacks. They're
Yeah.
Probably
They
already
could probably build. They could build this outhouse out
yeah, Mike for sure.
using their.
Wait.
I mean, he made all the side hacks for the Dirty Fest the other weekend. So this thing's gonna show. It probably will have Onyx hubs.
Bro, that's
Dude,
kind of
bike
like
on the
our
side of it.
Torker
Right.
tandem
Like this
side
would be
hack.
the
So
side
we need
hack. The porta potty would be
We
the
need a
side
porta
hack.
potty with a side hack. On
Yes.
This is already
there. Now we're talking.
Rick talks about porta potties all the time.
That's
so.
That's
as
why
soon
we're.
as you said this, I'm
That's-
like, my phone lit up. I was like, oh Lord, here
Yep.
we go.
That's why we need number 6 on the side of it.
It will have 6.
We got to have 6. We're not
It's
doing it.
something
We're not
Rick's-
sponsoring anything if we can't have 6.
Rick started this in California on a porta potty in Rockford.
Rockford, Illinois.
And like people started checking in from his references on his show about Porta Potty 6 in Rockford at this now BMX famous Porta Potty 6. Yeah. You want to tell him who's on the show next week?
Oh, you would throw that at me right now, wouldn't you?
I like it. Look, dude.
Hey, we didn't do
We-
the trivia.
Huh?
Do we want to do the trivia?
You think everything's got to go in order on there?
Well,
Look, dude, we hit the gate. We fell over the gate.
that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So next week we have Travis Johnson. He's from Ohio BMX Trail Jam Series. So he will be our guest next week, and we'll learn all about the Ohio Trail Jam
Have you
Series.
seen any of this?
No.
So picture like a Minnesota State series or like
Yeah.
a Florida State BMX racing series.
Yep.
And it's for trail jumping.
Nice.
Yeah. Like they have, I think it's 8 stops. We'll find out
So they
next
got
week.
Different
Yes, they go to
different
different
locations
trails.
for
Yes.
each
Yes.
event.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys want to learn all about that? Make sure you come back next Wednesday, and we'll find out more
Should
about
see
that.
the sponsor list for this thing.
Yeah.
Well, because like typically, and you guys know this too, like from being in just even the racing, like trail jumping or dirt jumping, whatever you want to call it, it's like a one and done for most. So, it's this or that or X Games or that or a local one.
Yeah.
That's a series.
So it's kind of like our flat pedal series.
Right.
So you have the winner of the day, but then you also have a series overall winner at the end.
Yeah, that's different. It's totally new. Like, I mean, it's not new. There's been series, but like this one's it's catching a lot of fire. Well, I'm excited to learn about it and how it came to. And
so Travis has got this all hooked up and figured out and
I
got it
think
going on.
They had their first. They had to postpone one. I believe last weekend was their first event. So we'll learn all about it. Yeah, he's got a big crew that helps. They go around and will help prep a lot like Minnesota does with the volunteers, where they all help the tracks at the indoor and stuff during the winter. They go around and help at the trails. So they've got
awesome.
quite the oiled machine there.
I like it.
Did you have a trivia? Did you catch one?
Yeah, I got one.
You don't sound that confident. You want to try that again? Chris, did you get a trivia question tonight?
Justin, I have the most awesome trivia question you could ever think of.
All right. Alyssa, Josh, you can't answer it,
I'm
though.
terrible at trivia.
It's all right, but you can't answer it because it's probably something you guys were talking about earlier. So
our Melissa's world famous trivia question.
she's on vacation, ladies and
She's
gentlemen.
off this week, but it's brought to you by Krupp & Carter Clothing Company. And we got all kinds of goodies here in this Motor
You
City.
don't want to wait a second before you start pulling them out.
Oh, I'm not looking
Doing the
up
little
there.
overlay to plug the sponsor that sends all that stuff to us.
Yes. Oh, hey, should I put my...
Nose on? Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll put you full screen with them sunglasses on.
Got to put my Motor City Harley
You
Davidson.
take them off, or you can be able to see what's in the bag.
I'll figure it out.
All right.
I'll feel my way through.
Sound a lot like Timmy Weiss now.
I know it is scary. So Motor City Harley Davidson, they gave us this backpack, and inside here we have a Krupp & Carter t-shirt.
Professor T-shirt and keychain.
Oh yeah, keychain.
Yeah.
Can't see that, but it's right there. So we got that. We've got check this out.
Oh, is
Which
that
way
the
does it
football?
go? Goes this way. Motor City Harley Davidson. What would that be? A Nerf football type
Yep.
thing?
So we throw out the parades.
That's
Or is that like a stress ball? Is it one of those you got? I don't know.
I don't know. After tonight, everything's I've been grabbing around here has been a stress ball.
Yeah, we got Motor City Harley Davidson can koozie. We
Pedal
got
cover.
your
Holy
Motor City-
cow! You're like the
What is
third
it?
person I've heard that knows that
What is it?
hack.
What
Pedal
is it?
cover, man. So like your pedals don't dig in your seats in your car
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They
don't scratch the other bike.
scratch other frames.
or other
Yeah.
frames. Yeah.
Yeah, so flat pedal riders in our flat pedal challenge.
There you go.
You might need to get one of those. And you got these cool sunglasses, also Motor City Harley Davidson.
If you don't notice, Motor City Harley hooks it up along with Krupp & Carter.
Yeah, they do.
And then we have the
Famous swag.
super
Sticker
famous
pack.
sticker pack.
I
We
got this one to throw in there too.
What do we got?
That one that
Fist?
came from Fist.
Yeah, we got
It came
Fist
from the
gloves.
land down under.
Yeah. Cult. We got, I'm just going to grab a handful of them out of here real quick. ATB, Motor City Harley, Wrenchman Wheel Build. Oh, there's some little pins in here too. We got
And the
these
buttons and stuff.
ATB pin, button. Oh gosh, all kinds of stuff. If you want to put your stickers in our sticker pack, send them to us. We'll be glad to throw them in there. So with that, winner's going to get all this fun stuff. I missed something.
And you got to just
chip clip.
Yep. Just Facebook
Nope.
message the page, the winner. Just when you win, just message us and we'll get it
But
shipped out to you.
All right, so we're going to clear the chat out here. So first person to get this right. And then, like I said, this is the best. Oh, you know what? There's a problem.
You want me to? Yeah. You can't read the question.
All right, now we got it. Holy cow.
I thought I was going to have to defer to Detroit Velvet Smooth to read it, bud.
Right. Okay, So at Rum River BMX, this is an indoor BMX track. They have TV monitors in there. How many? What is the
Dang,
number?
You caught a very rare. You got it wrote down?
Yep.
I did have it right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So how many
caught that one, too.
TV
It's like, damn,
monitors
that's
do they have in the building for live streaming the races? That's what we're looking for.
Is they all live streaming, or do you guys have like ads and stuff that run on them?
Actually,
All
no,
different things.
they're really the only one that is live streaming. We have a TV in concessions so that the concessions crew can watch the races. All the rest of them are doing other things, whether it's displaying scores, our menu at concessions, pricing at registration.
Right. So I
A
was
lot of
half.
sports times or like upcoming clinics like flyers and whatnot.
Okay.
So you guys are making like a digital digital flyer,
Yeah,
and then
a
you have
slide
digital
flyer.
signage.
What a great idea!
Yep.
Okay.
We have an IT guy, Sean Wilson, that put together this software program called Track Booster that we can control all the different stuff that we do and pop them out to the TVs. You can go right on your tablet or phone and update the menu pricing at concessions, or put the TV, like we use them for countdown timers for our time practices for the big races, all kinds of stuff. So it's a really cool program.
Who was that again?
His name's Sean Wilson. His company's PVE. He was one of our board members. He was our track president for a number of years and kind of did this as a side hobby to put it together. And
Yeah.
I know he's been move it, highlight it yellow, like all kinds of cool stuff. So
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you while we're waiting to see if anyone can answer our trivia.
Believe it or not, a couple.
You already got a winner?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I was shocked how many people caught it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. What is your biggest seller in concessions?
Great question.
Oh, biggest seller. So the awesome thing is they change it up in there all the time because
Okay.
so many of us are there so often that we don't want to eat the same thing every time that we're there.
Okay.
So we run a lot of different specials. Danielle's been awesome at coming up with new things in there. Like just recently we had gyros, we had burrito bowls.
Oh,
Walking
wow.
tacos are always popular.
Right.
We've done turkey legs in the past. Pork chops were really popular at our state qualifier.
Wow.
Um,
Okay. So
Different types
I
of
guess
wraps,
I guess
salads.
we could rephrase that to what are some of the things you have in concessions from time to time? Holy cow.
I feel like I eat dinner at the track more often than I eat at home.
Absolutely.
So
Well, shoot.
it's nice that we have such a variety.
That's better than, a pop in a hot dog. Shoot.
I mean, we have that too. We have amazing hot dogs. Those who know me know how I love our hot dogs. But yeah, so we always have like kind of those staple items, but
Yeah.
then we try to have a special every night as well.
Okay.
We've had other tracks on that find a lot of success with that. That
Yeah.
and it runs parallel with the larger volunteer groups. I feel like it's one of those things that runs hand in hand. Like you're doing that, and it's not stale. It's not, because you're going to get a good, you're going to get a good meal, good price, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yep, the good price, that's the big part. If you're charging $8 for a hot dog, like what are you doing? Keep it reasonable so a family can come there and eat. Otherwise, they're just going to stop at Subway or McDonald's on the way in. So keep it reasonable, and people will eat with you.
And we publish our menu too. I mean, we have people that stop by the track just to get the food because they saw it was on the menu for the day. So
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've seen that with their track, and I've also saw it with Nick Jones's at Cape Coral.
Cape Coral, yeah.
Nope. And that's exactly what he said, is that like they'll post it so ahead of time what you've got to have that night if you want, because the other stuff, then what the special will be.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, you're helping the track out a little bit too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like what Josh had said about like, well, they'll just stop at, a Subway or a McDonald's, like so true. But,
Yeah.
they won't if they know they got a good value or
Right.
something new to try. Yeah. So true.
Yep.
It's all
So
about finding that value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can still buy a soda in our track cheaper than you can buy it at the gas station. So that's how it should be. We want people to buy the stuff here, not stop before they get here.
Right. Yeah. And that's also goes to everybody else out there. Hey, don't go to the local convenience store and buy your
Your
pop
track.
or your
Mhm.
chips or whatever.
Tell me what to do.
Hey, help your local track. Buy your Gatorade at the track.
Right.
Yeah. It is. All that helps.
Support.
So what was the answer? How many TVs?
Do you have a winner?
We do, but I'm
Okay.
asking them.
Oh, them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did 9.
I think I said 9.
9.
9.
9. Yeah.
I think you might know the person that won.
Uh-oh.
Terrell?
Nope.
Oh.
Because this person, like Chris Odd, literally just finished it, and I'm like, wow, that was fast. Jill Colby?
Oh,
Oh, Jill.
that's awesome.
Jill, if you would like
Hey,
to
Jill.
message us at the All Things BMX Facebook page with your address, we will get that sent out to get the
Nice
prize
job,
pack.
girl.
Yep. Thanks to
how do you spell her last name?
kind of like
C-O-O-D-Y.
I think like the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, thanks Melissa for putting the prize pack together for us. Because a lot of times when Chris and I are running the show together, we're like, "Oh,
Shoot.
trivia time," and I got to cut to something and run off and try to put one together. Thanks, Melissa, even though she's on vacation.
Yep. She takes care of us. That's why she's a super producer.
Mr. Old School said, "Josh is looking a lot thinner."
Yeah.
How much have you completely lost, Josh?
From my heaviest was 2020 during COVID.
Okay.
I'm down about 150 pounds from then.
Wow.
I saw
Congratulations.
a screen like pop up during the documentary, and I said, "Damn, good for
Doesn't
you."
even look like the same person, right?
It does
Yeah,
not.
even from a year ago, I'm about 100 pounds down. So
Good for you. Way to go. Way to go.
big difference.
That's great.
Are you racing yet?
I'm not. My wife doesn't like the whole get injured side of things.
Yeah.
So
Josh owns his own construction company, so.
Okay. Well,
it's a little hard to do day-to-day work without use of both arms and both legs. So
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know,
Right.
especially doing what you're doing. I want to throw the. We're gonna put the show over to you guys for a few seconds here for your shout outs and your thanks. Yeah, and we're gonna slide on out of here. Thanks for everybody. We really appreciate sticking with us. A little technical difficulty there at the beginning, so we really appreciate it. But Alissa and Josh, we'll put it over to you guys.
Well, thanks for having us on again.
Oh, we
It's been
love
a
it.
pleasure.
It was nothing but fun.
I'd like to. I mean, it's kind of cliche, right? We'll thank everybody that's helped our track get to where it is today. It's not just things that we have done. I mean, there's a group of people behind the scenes every day. We have a ridership without riders at our track. We're not what we are today. Obviously, thank my family for putting up with the fact that I'm never home, and thank you.
yeah, she said it all. It takes a community to do what we do. It's definitely not just two people doing it. So from the board members to the volunteers to the families that come out, we couldn't do it without you, and it wouldn't be worth it to do it without you. So, and you guys, thanks for having us. It's awesome to be on the show again, and it's awesome to have you guys part of the documentary. And I think as pumped as you were to be in it, we were that pumped that we were able to use you in it too. So it was a great fit.
Thank you for having us in there. It was a
Yes.
huge surprise. I think Justin sent. He's like, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah. That was pretty big. I'd say
Yeah.
that's probably one of the.
That was pretty darn cool.
It's right there at the top there.
Yeah.
Well, you guys embody dream big. And I really took this to thinking since the last show that you guys were on with us to now, like when you dream big, think big. You guys have shown what you can do, even in the sport that, people say you can't do it in. You guys have done it. You put a building around your track. You guys have 50 to some volunteers, a large ridership. You guys have embodied that, and congratulations. Good luck on retirement. I know many of track operators that retire 3 and 4, maybe even 5 times. But good luck. You guys are always welcome back on. You know, when everybody gets settled into their new roles, we look forward to having the new guard on with us too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Perfect.
that'd be great.
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
All right. So with that, we're gonna close things down here for the evening. So please, again, make sure you like and subscribe to all our social media pages. Make sure you check out the documentary on Rum River BMX that we were just talking about. You can go to their social media and find that, I'm pretty sure. Also, make sure you join us next week. We're going to have Travis Johnson on. He's from the Ohio BMX Trail Jam series. We're going to learn all about that. And until then, got anything else, or we're good?
I'm good.
All right. So till then, God bless you. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday.